Afternoon, guys. It's Andy. It's afternoon on a Saturday, and I just figured I'd give you an introduction into something I'm experimenting in called electroculture. It's the principle of creating a small electromagnetic field that basically deters pests and causes ions to do some funky things within the field. And the end result is a bigger bounty of plants and pest-free area within that field. So let me show you. So this is the experiment today. So I have a few pepper plants that I have planted starting from seed, and we're going to take a copper rod. I'm gonna probably cut it in half. This is 8 feet long. And then here we have a galvanized rod, which is basically steel plated with zinc. Steel core, and so I'm going to kind of go step by step and do this. I probably won't show me actually doing it, but I will show the end result and describe the best I can everything I did. So I have 4 wood stakes here. They're going to be my non-conductive material to help create a coil field that will encompass the plants. And so I will start progressively showing steps, and the first thing I'm going to do is take a small drill bit and drill a few holes in a series up and down these stakes, and yeah, we'll just see where it goes. So here I have my drill bit and I have my 4 stakes. I'm going to go ahead and start drilling in sequences. I don't know, maybe this is going to be above the yellow lid, so I want to make sure that I can still reach in and grab and pick plants as I need to. So I'm going to give it maybe 6 to 8 inches of space between holes, kind of gradually going up and up. So one will be, I'll be starting down here with holes to attach with zip ties to go around the base of the box, and I'm gonna just daisy chain some zip ties, and I'll show that as well later. And then up top, once this stands above the yellow lid, I'm gonna do it in a little sequential. So I'm gonna do one and then have one go up another maybe inch, another inch, another inch, and it'll create a coil effect. It might not be an inch, it might be a little less, but then I'm gonna have a coil around once going up a little bit, then have another one maybe another 8 inches taller going up a little bit, another 8 inches taller going up a little bit, and I'll just have it gradually going up, and that'll provide a field as well as enough space to reach through, and like I said, pick the plants as needed. So all right, here we go. All right, guys, as you can see, I've got all the holes drilled. It took me about maybe 5-10 minutes. So I'm going to give you some measurements here. So from the base, I went approximately 4.5 inches the first one, and then from that hole I kind of eyeballed it, and I went about 13.25 to the next. Actually no, not 13.25, that's the first hole. That's the first hole for the wire. I went about 10 and a 16th inches from the first hole to the second hole. This one's about flush with the lid. It's just literally going to be secured to the lid so that I can wrap this coil around higher and not cause any type of, I don't want this to implode on itself or bend in. I want it to be nice and structured. So this is zip tie hole, zip tie hole. These are all flush and level. And then I have 3 inches. This is 3 inches here. Roughly, yeah, 3 inches to the first hole, and then I go 2 inches, next hole, 2 inches, next hole, 2 inches, next hole. So you could do it that way. I did it for the first hole, and then like I said, 8 inches. So I gave it 8 inches, 8 inches, 8 inches, 8 inches. So from each of the starter holes, I just go 8 inches in sequence, and this all lines up. The coil is gonna go around, and it should look nice and fairly uniform. And so I'm gonna go ahead and get the zip ties ready, and then I will show you what I did to make sure this attaches correctly. All right, so I'm at the tote, and just want to show you what I'm doing here. So I've got these, I'm daisy chaining them together, and I'm gonna just kind of go around slowly, and then I'm gonna gradually tighten everything up until it gets a nice even tightness. And then it should work out, and I'm gonna do the same again to the top, and I will come back again and show you guys when I have this all secured down. we'll see you soon. Alright guys, so I have it now standing up. I guess I got a view for you from further back. As you can see, I have it bowing out kind of at the angle of the container. That's so I can make the field as wide as possible. As the plants get bigger, they'll still be mostly contained in the field, and hopefully this will keep out pests. It was a little bit of work to do the zip ties. You could use wire. I like zip ties because you can gradually tighten it together. So I, as you can see, I made it work. And if you mess up a zip tie, you can always cut the zip tie, the end and the start, and you have your whole daisy chain still. That's what I like about zip ties. I can actually reuse this in the future. Just by cutting a few away, I can save most of them if I ever wanted to transfer this to another system. Another possibility is, if this works out well, I can daisy chain the field as well, from tote to tote, and have a whole bunch. So if this is successful, then I will continue doing this method. And yeah, I guess the next step now is I'm going to get my copper rod down in the ground. I'm going to cut this thing in half though. Yeah, sorry about the eyesore shed over there. I will be taking care of that. It's probably going to turn it into a chicken coop, and so that'll be some more stuff to touch base on in the future. But and then after I get this copper rod in, I'm then going to get the zinc and steel rod down into the ground as well. I'll be cutting both of these 100% even. This is 6 feet long, and then this one is 8 feet long. So I'll be cutting this down to 3 feet sections, this down to a 4-foot sections, and I'll be beating the copper down into the ground further than I'll be doing this one, because this one's going to break the magnetic field. And when it breaks the magnetic field, it forces the ions back into the coil and out, and I have to go somewhere. So they force it, in theory, forces the ions out of the coil and into the plants, and that creates your field. So this generates from the earth, and this breaks the connection. So if all goes well, we will check back in, and I'll have a video when I get these both in the ground and cut and everything. All right. Okay, so I'm just getting done here, wrapping up, grinding this down and cutting it. Used a hacksaw. 3 feet, and the copper's 4 feet. You gotta want to make sure you sand down both ends of this, and that's because it's going to help break the conduction and send the ions back into the cable, or the copper wire I should say, and then into the field around your plants. So I will bring it back again when I have everything in the ground. All right guys, I'm back. Noticed my little buddies were out and about, so I figured I would show them again. This is Bowser right here, and Henry. And they both like their shell scratched. Wiggle into it a little bit. To Henry. Yeah. But yeah, they're really cool. As I've said before in a few other videos, all the stuff I grow in here, I pretty much feed them, as well as myself. So they eat pretty well, I would say. Before I get into the rest, I just want to show you the star fruit, because in particular, it's performing well right now. This is a flying tune, and yeah, it's a few fruits on it, probably like 8 total, maybe a few more. And I know that every year that goes by, it'll be getting better and better. I mean, they're getting big. They should be ripening here pretty soon. All right, on to the main thing. So I got them beat into the ground. This was the 4-foot copper rod. I beat it down. I have about maybe 6 inches up above the ground, which is pretty much the standard. So, and this is the 4-foot. Over here, good ways away, I have the zinc plated steel. What I did is I kind of sanded down the top and I sanded down the bottom. Remember to do that. That'll create a better contact between the iron, which is inside, and the, you know, to break this cycle so that the magnetic field collapses and ions go and all the force goes into this field I'm about to create. Now I've got my wire here. This is 18 gauge, bare, threaded. Basically it's braided. So I'm gonna go ahead and wire this through. So the way I'm gonna do it is I'm going to coil a decent amount of coil going up the copper, and then I'm going to take that, run it over here, and that's my first hole. So I'm gonna go around this way and actually go clockwise. There, 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 and then it's gonna gradually go up and up and up. And then once I reach the top, which is on the back corner, that is going to go down and feed back into that, where then it's gonna break and collapse this thing, in theory. I have a few other ideas, and a lot of these are also thanks to the help of my father. He's very good with electricity and things of that nature. I have not delved into it as much as he has. So with our combined knowledge, I think we're gonna make this work. So, all right guys, I will check back in here in a little bit once I have this all wrapped up, and yeah, I'll see you soon. All right guys, well, here we are at the final destination. So here I have the braided wire wrapped very securely and fastened down with a zip tie so it's not going to slide. The top one is for a lead. I'm going to show you guys something really cool. So this goes in here, starts wrapping around, coils, and then once I hit the top here, goes down, and then again another zip tie. Let's see if I can zoom in. And then it coils down the zinc and iron rod, and again I have another lead here. So what I have over here is my voltage meter, and I have a lead. So here I have it on, I'm gonna narrow it down to the 100th. So I'm gonna keep it on 20. And so I promise I'm not wired up to anything else. This is literally just from the earth. I have my positive over here touching. And then see if I can do this without dropping the phone. I'm about to put this wire, which goes into that, over here onto the negative. And when I do, it's not much, but this is all it takes to create a field. This is free energy from the earth, and I have successfully tapped into it first time. And I just thought that was really cool. Wanted to show you guys. I'm super excited. I just took the leads off. That's why it went back down to 0. So now the principle is you're gonna have wire going through here. That small voltage carries, makes it all the way here to that rod. And because that's steel, it collapses the field. So then when they have nowhere else to go, they rush back. All the ones, it's almost like I don't know, imagine like follow the leader. And all the magnetic particles within these wires kind of collapse. And they have nowhere to go, so they actually disperse out of this and they go inside. I'm sure you get a little bit of leakage on the outer sides as well, but majority goes in here. So this is your field. This is where and now we're gonna see how this works out for pests. If it's anything like what I've been seeing on the internet, this should be really cool. And I hope this was really informative to you guys. I will do another video soon with some more updates with plants, especially with this. I want to show you where this goes. And yeah, so hydroponic, Kratky, and electroculture. How cool is that?